You can't steal my happy, even though you try. You can't steal my happy, you can't take away my high.
Hey, can you guess where, well, I guess happy episode number 2, first of all, but you started talking about the song, but do you know the artist, where he's from?
No idea.
You can't tell. There's no way you get it. He's a German dude. I hired him off Fiverr and I wrote the jingle and he came back, but I'm like, isn't that weird how like British people and German people, they can sing and you're like, there's no way that guy would be from Germany.
Right. That is interesting. Yeah.
So yeah. It's cool.
So welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of You Can't Steal My Happy podcast. I'm Brad Richardson.
Rob Hearn.
And we are 2 very happy dudes. So we've got a great story for you today, and we will follow it with a happy ending segment in terms of what it meant to us. But as I mentioned in episode 1, I've known Robert for 10 years now, and he really changed my view of travel. So, I referenced, doing some unique trips like trekking gorillas and great white shark cage diving. But, just to give you a sense of some other trips that he does, sitting in the Devil's Pool at Victoria Falls, whitewater rafting down a waterfall in New Zealand, on a luxury yacht, 152-foot yacht, just going up the Croatian coast, which is probably the most cushy trip that you have. And something that if you're going to go to Croatia, you have to do it this way because it's really, really, it's breathtaking.
You're going to be there in a month or a little over a month.
Yeah. I'm leading a trip of 32 people at the end of September. So this is going to be my first ambassador job, so I'm pretty excited about it. But I've done it 2 times, and it's just it's a bucket list item. So if you want to go up the Croatia coast, you should check out youcan'tstealmyhappy.com. So I think we'll just dive into tell us how Belize came to be in terms of a trip.
Oh, so I do a lot of, I do group tours, but also we do private tours too, for groups like for yoga students. We take them down to Costa Rica and we do a surf and yoga retreat, and we send people on group hikes. We did a really cool one did the Inca Trail. So that was the 4-day hike, which is epic. You were in Machu Picchu.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
another bucket list item.
Yeah, and Sandro, and Freddie, but Sandro, he's an amazing storyteller. I mean, that guy really takes care of our guests. But it's a trip to me. Is you come back and change your life. I mean, trip when people like I reassess my life after hiking the Inca Trail.
Right.
And so I'm always excited to go back to Machu Picchu.
And now you're doing, again, kind of introducing new flavors to the trips and the concepts. I hear pickleball tours in Vietnam.
Oh, man. Okay, so during COVID, there was nothing to do. I mean, no one had anything to do, but I started playing pickleball every day. And I remember we went to the courts and, after like 2 or 3 weeks, the city closed down all the pickleball courts. And I was devastated. I'm like, oh my God. But I have a buddy of mine who has a business. He's like, Rob, I have a parking lot. You can play in the back of that. So we went and marked his whole back parking lot because there was no cars there. Every single day we had 20, 30 people playing pickleball. And that's where I became an addict. I think everyone started playing pickleball during COVID.
Well, it's crazy now. I mean,
yeah, and what we find now is that like I just spent a whole month in Vietnam. It's the fastest growing sport now in Vietnam, pickleball. A year and a half ago, no pickleball courts. So literally when I was there, we played all of these different facilities. I mean, we were in Ho Chi Minh, Da Nang, Hoi An, Hanoi, even Phu Quoc off the coast. All of them, pickleball mania has struck. And it's fun because they're great. They're great with paddle sports. I always knew because when I would go on my tours and stay in Vietnam, I would just play tennis. and these guys would just kick my butt. And I'm not a great tennis player, but I'm an average, but they made me look like I'm never going to play tennis again. So I started getting really good at pickleball. And I'm like, I'm going to go there and kick all their butts.
Right. So now, if you're a pickleball addict and you've always wanted to go to Vietnam.
So yeah, we're starting a pickleball tour. It's actually a separate business, but it's VietnamPickleballTours.com. Coming soon. But I love that game. You put it to paddle and it's instant friends. And I love the fact that people from Europe, Asia, wherever you are. I mean, this year I played in Singapore. I played in Malaysia. I've played in Chiang Mai, and I've played in the Philippines. They all have pickleball courts, and it's great. Instant friends. Afterwards, go have a beer, and you're meeting people from all over the world, like-minded. So pickleball wasn't even supposed to be a topic today, but I started getting so excited. My daughter now is Jazz. She's like a world-class pickleball. Like, she's going to school online at Arizona State. And she's playing on the semi-type pickleball pro now. She's not quite at the pro level, but that's what she wants to do. And I'm like, go for it.
And she kicks your ass.
Oh, she's I've got bruises, tattoos, I call them, all over me from her. She just hits me so hard. And I wear glasses. I mean, again, there's so many injuries to the pickleball right now. I had my doctor friends be like, yeah, we're just making a mint off this game. So anyway.
So I, not to digress, but it's an interesting example of, how Robert I was the one that said to him after a trip, I'd love to hot air balloon up the Nile. And 3 months later, he called me up and says, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And you have to come. And now, how many trips
you
to
go
Egypt
to the Valley of the Kings, and you see, that's an epic experience. And that's, we do that Egypt trip, and that's amazing, the history there. Yeah. But yeah, it's a beautiful, here's the deal. I mean, I think my house backs up to like a little green space, but behind that, there's a cemetery. And back in the days where I used to run a lot, I am now bike through there, but I always go by, and that to me is a reminder of the clock that's just ticking, tick, 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 and it goes, I look at the dates, and some of these people, they live 60, 70, 80 years, and, I'm 50 in my 50s, but it's a reminder how, anything you want to do or anything you should do it now and never wait. And every single moment, just maximize your time on this planet, because we're just that little grain of sand that's there. So that's, to me, is, just do everything you want. Don't get caught up in the craziness of the world, and turn off the freaking news.
No one's going to remember who we are 50 years from now.
No. It's like, no.
So make a mark.
No, even like, I just remember, it's like, yeah, no one will. You're right. No one's going to care about who, what, where. So live this life to the fullest and maximize it. And anything you're trying, if it's not going to harm anyone, it's a good thing. And that's why I love travel, because again, when you come back from traveling, to me, I try not to have overly regimented daily schedules. So I think that the last thing you want to do is come back from vacation and feel like you need another vacation. So there's a couple of days off here and there, but I love the fact when you come back, you've tried new foods, you're stimulated by the conversations, meeting new friends. That's a great time if you can meet new friends, try new foods, and engage in a different culture.
No activity is required.
No, I've got your money. If you don't want to wake up one day and hang out, but some trips you do have to. If we're in Africa, you've got to get from point A to point B. You got to come, but it's, if we're based.
No, I'm just like giving examples. The trip to Croatia, if you didn't want to hike up to see the castle in Dubrovnik, you could hang on the boat. There's no we're getting on a bus in 15 minutes and having to travel around. So
I agree.
So again, to the point of, living your life to the fullest, and getting out of your comfort zone. So I really want you to tell the story.
Oh, this Belize. Is more not a comfort zone. This is here, this goes under never try, never know. And this is when we meet jet lag in an episode, he reinforced that with me, and he's actually got a tattoo with that on it. Never try, never know. And that's kind of cool. But I've always kind of lived my life that way, but never using that phrase. But, so to your story, this is, I don't know. This is a great story. It's kind of, I think, a little bit risque, but it's with a purpose. So I have a group of yoga students that are coming to Belize for a little, yoga session. And my only thing when I plan yoga trips is that we're not going to do just yoga 24/7. And we're not going to journal, because you can journal at home. You're going to do a little mix of an hour and a half of yoga a day. And we're going to go out and do some cultural things, because that's spiritual yoga. That's mine. When you try new foods and stuff, that's basically yoga for your brain and stomach. I tell people, like, I will do your yoga trips, but I'm not going to sit there and just do yoga all day. So anyway, I have a group come in, and one of the things they requested is that, hey, we just want to make sure we have a good masseuse. And that's always not so easy to find in little small islands. So this is Ambergris Caye in Belize. And so I get down there a couple of days before, and I said, no problem, I'll find a massage. I'm a massage junkie. I travel to Southeast Asia all the time. I get a massage in the morning, get a foot massage in the evening. It's $7-8 an hour. So why not? And you just feel amazing. So I see where they're coming from. They want to be relaxed. And so at any rate, I'm there a day before. I go out fishing, catch all the fresh fish, because we're doing fresh tacos. Fish tacos, mahi, not even mahi. This is whitefish. I don't know what it is there, but I dive down. We speared our own lobster. So we're having lobster tacos. And you can relate to that. You live in Maine, different type of lobster. But
I wouldn't be diving for them, that's for sure.
Well, no, they give you a pick.
Right.
It's like,
but the water temperature is a little different.
No, yeah, but diving there too is they have these big crates, and you go swim underneath them, and there's like 50 to 100 lobster that are all lined up and all backing up, and they literally give you a spear with a hook on the thing, and you just go and hook them, boom, pull them out, and it's kind of an art. And then you don't have you're in about 30 feet of water, so you have to go back up and breathe. And then you've got these nurse sharks swimming around you, and they're harmless, but still, anything with fins and food, you're like, don't want to mess with that. But at any rate, I'm catching. This is going to be a really amazing meet and greet on the first night, but I still need to go back and find the masseuse for the week, because the hotel doesn't have one. So I go down, and there's this woman, and she's kind of exotic looking, and she's selling tamales. And the tamales in Belize are different than your tamales here in Texas, where it's just the meat or chicken or beans in the middle of it, and then it has the corn on the outside. Yeah, it's awesome. But she gave me one of her tamales, and I bit into them, and I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. But then the chicken tamales, they have a bone in the middle of them. And she should have told me that, because I about put it on, and I'm about busted my teeth. But at any rate, I'm like, why do you leave the bones on them? And she says, oh, because it gives it more flavor. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to tell her she's on there. She's selling these. And I was like, these are great. Now that I get it, I took the bone out and I was eating. I'm like, these are incredible. I said, now if I could just find someone who can give me a massage, my life would be perfect. I got this yoga group coming in, man. Do you know anyone in town? She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, that's what I do. She goes, my mother's a shaman, and down in Placencia, which is, on the border, Belize. And I'm like, well, what? A shaman? She's like, yeah, she taught me how to give these massages, but it's more spiritual massage. And I'm like, oh, this fits right into the whole yoga thing. And I'm like, well, great. And I said, what's your schedule like today? And she's like, oh, I can be there. I told her where I was staying, and she's like, I can be there at 4:00. Perfect. And so, great. I'm like, this will be a spiritual massage. And I've had all sorts of massages, but I've never had a spiritual massage before, but why not? It's touching.
I get it.
Yeah. So at any rate, she shows up at 4:00, and she does the massage in your room, which is not a big deal. A lot of places I've had plenty of massages in rooms. And she brought her husband with her, and real nice guy, kind of, Spanish looking dude, but real cool. And they're like, oh, well, just lay on the bed. And so he's in there and she's in there and they're like, yeah, go ahead and get naked. And I'm like, no big deal. I get naked massages. I mean, it's a professional massage. I don't care. I just need to really make sure that the product she's delivering is good for these 30 guests that are coming in. So here's where it gets a little bit weird. She asked me what oil do I want to use for this massage. And she gives me a choice of coconut oil, which is natural because we're surrounded by coconuts, THC oil, which I'm like, wow, that'll be interesting. And then regular just, Epstein oil, like the baby oil or Diddy oil, whatever you want to call that. And so she gives me a choice of those three oils. And I'm like, give me the THC oil. Why not? I mean, and can you mix a little coconut in there? You could do a buffet. I don't care, So, her husband's sitting there and I'm sitting there and then she's there and she's, I'm laying flat on my stomach and I'm kind of looking at him and I'm like, this is weird. He's watching me with his wife giving me a massage. I said, they're going to kill me. I'm going to be on a Netflix episode. And so I kind of asked him, I said, hey, can you find a coconut for me? Cause I love when I go to the Caribbean because you want to get hydrated all the time. And, he's like, yeah, I'll get you one. No problem. So he leaves. She's doing a massage, reeling the shoulders and stuff. And I looked up to my left. He's freaking climbing a coconut tree with his bare foot. He goes all the way up to the top, cuts it with a knife. He's got this knife now. I'm thinking, this guy's not coming back in this room. I said, but he's get me a coconut. He seems legit. So then he comes back down, brings the coconut, and then he leaves. So I'm like, well, thank God, that was weird. And took him and his knife, but I got my coconut. Life is good. So, she starts massaging, and she's getting lower down to my butt area. And fine, the butt gets no love in a massage usually. It's all the back, shoulders, head, neck, and a little bit of the butt. But she's really like rotating around, and getting lower to the glory hole, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. But at any rate, I'm like, So she's getting close to my anus. That spot. And I'm like, this is weird, but just a little quick backstory. I don't let anyone near my asshole. I just don't. In college, I had a horrible experience. And it was, girlfriend at the time, but she basically gave me an anal fissure. So you can use your imagination what went on there, but I had to go to the doctor for like 2 months because I guess her fingernail cut me there. And so you can't go to the bathroom. So at any rate, from that day, I was traumatized. I was in a fraternity. I mean, everyone's eating, chicken wings, spicy wings, and beer, and I can't eat. I'm on a liquid diet. And you don't dare want to have hot chicken wings when you've got a tear in your ass. So that's okay. So that's my whole, that's my, postpartum thing. I mean, I have flashbacks of like Vietnam, like that's like a vet, like no one's going near my asshole ever again. So as she's getting closer, I kind of grabbed her hand and like, hey, she's touching it. She's like, you need to relax. You're too tense. I said, I'm going to just tell you something that as long as I'm okay with the massage. I said, but you don't stick your finger anywhere inside. Just don't, she just looked at me like I was crazy. She said, I need you to relax. Okay. So she starts massaging and oh my God, it felt, once I knew she wasn't going to do anything crazy.
Inserting anything.
No one's ever massaged my asshole before. No one. So I'm just going with it. I'm like, but it felt really relaxed. And then she starts telling me things about myself. She's reading like a palm reader. She's telling me.
Reading your sphincter.
She said there are lines on your sphincter and I could tell where you've been and where you're going. And it, and I'm like, okay, I guess. Okay. And she's like, just like the palms of your hand, you have lines. And so she started talking about my grandfather who passed away and we never knew if it was suicide or if it was a murder. And you guys, it wasn't not what you think it was. And well, everyone deemed it suicide. I'm like, so it was a murder? And who did it? And like, where does that say on my asshole where my grandfather got murdered and this and that? And then she told me I'd had 2 girls. And I'm like, where does that say though? And I have 2 girls, by the way. So the woman is backing up the stuff she's saying and telling me things only I would know. And I'm just blown away by the whole experience. And I'm relaxed. And then finally, she spent like probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes there. And then she worked down to the legs, and that was the only thing that was kind of that, I was done. And I'm like, oh my God.
A typical massage.
Yeah.
She just gets to the middle of it and
she was very genuine and sincere, nothing crazy. I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I think you give a great massage, but you cannot do that to these yoga students that are coming in because that's, that is, not, no one's going to have an open mind like me. And you were very respectful. And I don't know if you can read a different part of their body and tell them about their past and where they're going, but they're never going to book a tour with me again if I have arranged this. But, she was great. So, at any rate, she ended back with my neck, and then she did a nice, really cool temple massage, and it was awesome. And I'm just so relaxed. She leaves. I'm like, come back tomorrow and we'll try out with a couple of the yoga students and get their suggestions. And then maybe you can do 20, 30 people while you're here for the next 4 or 5 days. And so she was really excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, I bet.
So I go down to the bar, just like, oh, it's 5 o'clock and just feel really good and relaxed. And I'm having a beer, talking to all the tourists there and telling them about my day, catching lobster, fish, and this amazing massage that I had. It was amazing. And it's been an hour and a half or so. Then I'm going to get ready for dinner. So I go up and I'm, getting ready for my shower and stuff. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, God, that was weird oil she must have used because it was kind of light brown. And my face was all tan around where the temple massage was. And I was like, that is weird. And nowhere else around.
So it was like a Rudy Giuliani moment for you.
Yeah, but it was basically she was.
Yeah.
I had gone to the bathroom, but I wasn't expecting to get an anal massage. And again, maybe I didn't wipe as good as I should. And now I wipe really good to this day because of that moment. But basically, yeah, that was me talking to all these people at a bar with my feces on the side of my temples the whole time. So I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. And so I of course showered and the group got there the next day, and the 2 girls that got the massages, I'm waiting for them to come out, and they're like, that was just so different. Never had anything like this woman before. She started telling me about herself. I'm like, oh no. Tell me more. She goes, she was telling me about that. She was rubbing my nipple. She goes, and it felt so relaxing, really nice, and really, just put me really relaxed, but told me so many personal things about myself. And I'm like, and that's it? She goes, yeah. She goes, I've never had that, but you should definitely keep her. So the rest of that week, I think most every single yoga student they were lined up. I went back for another anal massage the next day. It was so good. It was awesome. I mean, because I knew it was harmless, and it's like no one ever does that, and it's like
that's getting out of your comfort zone.
Well, never try, never know. And I'm not saying that that's not something I think that's ever happened on my trips, and that was 10 years ago. But I go back to Belize, and I don't know where she's at. I think she's moved back with her mother in Placencia and set up shop there. But I would 100% go back there tomorrow and take my wife to get one. Maybe a couple's. But it's
so from a happy ending perspective,
no, there was no happy ending.
I know that.
God, yeah.
What's the meaning? What's the meaning? Well,
of
this? That's what we're trying to accomplish.
Wrapping things up. And today, I think that again, you never try, never know. Don't ever. I think keeping an open mind when you travel, and always being careful. Like I said, the guy, that was a little bit weird at first when her husband's in there, but once he bought me a coconut and left. I mean, there is a trust factor to travel too. And I'm not, and again, I'd say 99% of the people that I know probably would never gone through with, the whole massage. But again, it just it kind of get out of your comfort zone, and
Right.
that's what the travel that we organize. I don't ever have these type of massages. We have normal massages and they're great, but just kind of get outside of your box, out of your
Yeah, I
comfort
think
zone.
that the never try, never know philosophy is a lot of what's a part of these
and
trips.
And jet lag, when he talks about when he got that tattoo, which he got it in Mexico, or not Mexico, he got it in Thailand. He'll tell you the story about that. I don't want to. That's his deal, but it's a beautiful story. But it just kind of just shows you, to live life to the fullest and keep an open mind. And it's like, yeah, okay, let's try it. Let's do this. So that was my never try, never. And again, it was really. I have a lot of weird stories, but that comes with the territory of travel, and it's the gift that travel that gives you. Is you have stories and moments, and even the moments that are not sexy when you travel. When you're on an airplane and you're being diverted somewhere, or you misconnect, hey, maybe that was supposed to happen for a reason, and then go and take advantage of those opportunities too, because you can meet a new friend at the airport, bar, restaurant, or anywhere. Take those moments that seem like they're in the end, they're first world problems, and turn them into something like, wow, okay, I didn't plan for this. It happened. I can't change it. Move forward and keep an open mind. And so, anyway, that's...
Yeah, and I think that this is an example, not necessarily that we're going to be as risque as that story may come across, but, better start with a good one. But, there's a lot more. I mean, there's probably thousands of stories. I mean, stories that I have, obviously that Robert has. And one of the things that we're actually doing, because we've got roughly 4,000 followers at this particular point.
Just on our mail out for our company.
Right.
Too,
so we've sent out a request for, stories that really impacted them.
Yeah,
so
if you had a story that really, not a nice story, I don't want to hear it. It's, I can top Rob's story. I don't want to go there to that one. But you had something that changed your life as a result of traveling, that you came back and like, I'm starting from scratch. I'm going to reassess my life and live it, and not get caught up in the craziness.
You've got a couple of them that actually we're going to be inviting, some of the guests on
really
to actually
cool.
tell their stories, and just to kind of hammer it home, not just listening to us, but actually listening to not only, the travel ambassadors, which I know we're going to be bringing on a couple of those folks that are just really, really, really cool. And then getting some guests on that actually, can tell honestly, what You Can't Steal My Happy Travel really did for them. And they're very compelling. And sometimes,
again, that's what we're going. We're going with the stories as a result of travel. And again, I'm not here to hype my business per se. I want people to buy into the philosophy,
right?
The most part, because again, our trips, they sell out and it's great. And I want to keep it small group and fun people. But again, the more important thing is, I even tell people, it's like, we get treated so well on our trips. Our tour operators and hotel manager, they love us because we just laugh every day, and they all think, is this a family reunion? I'm like, no, it's just people. We just met each other. But they love having our groups. And I said, when you leave, when you get back home, it's very simple just to be kind to another human. You can be my kids, they watch. It's really important. I can go to Walgreens and the checkout lady is there. Just say something nice and genuine. Hey, I love your earrings, or, that's cool. I love your nails, but make it genuine. They look up like shocked. But you could, you can't tell me you could put a smile on someone's face every single day. It doesn't cost anything. It's super easy.
Yeah, it's so true. So
it's a powerful philosophy, and I use it every day to, just make people, get them out of the rut. Because again, it's not that I'm Mr. Happy every day. I've gone to the bank a few times when I get a wire delivered, and I'm like, where is this wire? And then I'm wearing a You Can't Steal My Happy shirt. And I'm like, crap, I can't do that. I'm wearing my shirt today. So I have to be.
So they're looking at you going,
you just lost your happy.
You hypocrite.
You damn hypocrite. When I don't watch your podcast, loser.
So we thank everybody for joining us. Again, please subscribe. It's again, it's free.
Yeah, it's good stuff too. It's fun. Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you for episode 3 coming soon. So take care.
All right.
Stay happy.
That's it. Don't let anyone steal it.
Don't exactly.
You can't steal my happy.